Association World Champion, T-Dog Tomasio, alongside my co-host, N.B.C. Craig Block.
Yes.
And tonight we have a special guest from the independent ranks. We have Angel Orsini. Nice to have you. Thank you for coming down tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Glad we got a guest finally on the show. You know. Yes, it's about time.
That's true. We usually end up doing roundtable discussions.
Yeah,
So I think
and it's getting to that point. It's getting boring.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll definitely liven it up.
Oh, there we go. Well,
Hardcore EC dub
there
style.
you go.
well, speaking of that, somebody outside mentioned you actually worked with Paul Heyman.
Yes, I was the prodigette on ECW from the last year that ECW was owned by Paul Heyman before Vince McMahon purchased it.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
When it was good.
There you go.
When it set the wrestling world on fire, literally, with flaming tables.
well, yeah, that would be just after Shane Douglas threw down the NWA title, wouldn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video clip of that the other night.
Yeah.
I'm surprised all the former NWA champions who were still alive didn't kill him for that.
Now, I've seen your somewhat of your bio, you know, and that you were trained by a few people. If you
Well,
want
mainly Liz Chase trained me. A lot of
Okay.
people don't know who she was, but
I've heard of her.
before Wendy Richter went to be women's champion of the world at WrestleMania, she was on the road with Liz Chase.
Oh, okay.
And they were road buddies. That was,
Right.
for a long time. So Liz Chase was an original Moolah girl.
Okay.
And she was trained by Leilani Kai, Judy Martin, and anybody who knows anything about women's wrestling will recognize those names.
Yeah.
And
I also saw that you were also trained by Dusty Rhodes.
well, I was already trained at that time.
Okay.
So the way it went was I was trained by Liz, had my match with Chyna
Right.
at the Iron Horse Saloon. I
Really?
made my professional
Wow.
debut.
That's a match I would love to see.
Yep.
Wow.
And then Luna Vachon started to break me in. Luna was one of my best friends before I started pro wrestling.
Right.
So I was a martial artist, and Luna and I lived in the same neighborhood, and we were very good friends. And but I was always involved in martial arts and mixed martial arts.
Yes, I saw that.
And
too. Yeah.
so then I
Different
got
belts,
into
yeah.
pro wrestling after. I never really liked pro wrestling, to be honest. I'm a
When
big
you-
MMA fan.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't like pro wrestling.
I don't like to watch it, but when I got in the ring and I did it for the first time,
Right.
a totally different. Was like the Matrix. It was like the world slowed down, and I found my place. I really did. I excelled at it. I loved it. I love every second I'm in the ring. I love it.
I can understand that. I saw one match. It was a gauntlet match for this, what appeared to be a hardcore title. I think that's one of the clips we have, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was a hardcore title. I've kind of had a very kind of long independent wrestling career after ECW. I was WEW Women's World Champion, Tag Champion. I've done everything. I've done steel cage matches. I've done flaming tables matches. I've done ladder matches.
This is why she fit so well in with ECW.
Yeah.
When I submitted my tape to ECW, it was me versus a man, and he put me through a table on the outside of the ring. And I was doing that Hurricane Rana from the ring apron out onto the ring before Lita.
No.
And that tape is the tape that I showed WWE to try to get a spot with them before ECW. So this was, I had already been on the road with Lita. We had gone and done some tours. And I was submitting tapes to WCW, WWE, ECW, and trying to get a full-time job. And they took all my stuff and gave it to Lita.
Oh my God.
And told me I should get a job at ECW because I was a little too hardcore for them. That's what Kevin Kelly told me.
You know what it was? It was quite simple. She's not a diva.
No.
She knows how to wrestle.
And she was saying to me before in the green room, never call her a diva.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well,
an
that's the
insult
thing.
to me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Divas.
Well, I can understand that. I saw some of this stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, damn.
Listen, it's good that they do what they do and they're making their way for women to have a spot on TV. But I'm always going to yell for more airtime for women. Women deserve more. They have talented women on those shows that can do more than they're allowed to do. There was a day when China was Intercontinental Champion. Okay, we have gone so far backwards since then on WWE. I'm talking about.
Right.
TNA is a different story.
Right. Of course.
You know why that is with Vince? Basically, he's been living in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how often
Well,
do you
he's
see him
old-fashioned,
giving
you know.
equality to not only women but also to minorities?
Yeah, it's horrible.
He doesn't do that very often.
They're the worst.
So you categorize yourself as a Lita and China type.
No, I can
Right.
out wrestle Lita any
No, but
day
I'm
of the
saying
week.
your
Don't even
style-
put me
but
in that category. She's like a reindeer
Okay.
in the headlights, dude.
Oh, okay.
Why do you think she got her earring ripped out of her in that pay-per-view
Really?
with
Wow.
Ivory? Because she was making the girl mad because she was lost. And that's always what happened to that girl.
Okay, now I'm a little confused.
Ivory.
Now I know who Ivory was.
Yeah.
But she got an earring ripped out of her ear during a pay-per-view.
I don't know if it was the earring or the eyebrow ring or something I remember vaguely. I don't know. I just know that girl got her job because she made a lot of people happy in the locker room.
In a different way that we want to know about. Yes, very much.
And
If
she
you
was
told
very
them how the show
attractive,
Yeah.
but it was everybody else that made her look good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, actually, that's not something I've ever heard about Lita, but that's interesting.
Oh, then you don't really know people that were
Well, no,
really working there then, because
No,
when they
probably
gave her
not.
her send-off, she had a locker room full of rubbers and lube and
Wow. Okay.
she opened her locker to go and it poured out.
Okay, I
Uh-huh.
missed that.
Yeah,
That's the story I
no.
missed.
That's,
Oh,
everybody
boy.
thinks about her
Yeah.
in the business. Sorry.
The title I was talking about, the belt was a big brown belt with like circles on either side and a round center plate.
The belt that you were going.
You mean the all guts, no glory
Yeah.
belt?
There you
Okay,
go.
so that was my version of the FTW belts. So Taz was always my idol, and when I went into ECW, it was the Prodijet.
just
The
about to
Prodigy was Tom Marquez. He was Taz's only student. So I always fashioned myself a female suplexing machine. If you notice, in all of my matches, I do versions of suplexes. I'm very much that kind of. I implement a lot of my martial arts and shoot wrestling into my matches. There's a lot of people that actually won't wrestle me because
Well,
they don't know how to do those things and they're scared and so they're, intimidated a little bit.
just out of curiosity, how would you feel about an intergender match?
I've been champion of all men groups and I've been the lightweight
Wow.
light heavyweight champion and all that. I've been when I was in Europe, all I did was wrestle men because they didn't have enough women for me to wrestle to keep me full time. So they gave me a bunch of little dudes to beat up.
Now was that now
It was a good time.
now was that your idea compared to what either Lita, China, or Beth Phoenix started doing? Was that your
Sweetie
idea?
Pie, I did all that stuff before they started
even started
when
doing that?
Teddy Long was not even working for WWE yet. He had his own group in Atlanta, and he made me the hardcore champion in
Wow.
Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah, this was well before all that stuff went on. People kept sending those people those tapes of me wrestling these men. And there were times
And it still was
when we
pushing
were
you.
in the audience doing, a hardcore style match, and guys were afraid to hit me, and they would purposely miss, and the crowd would be calling BS, you don't need to beat me. I'll censor myself. And I was like, listen, dude, if you're going to hit me, you better hit me. And boom, I straight up jabbed this dude, knocked him right out,
In other words,
dragged
she hit
him
him
back
back
out.
before
I
he
was
hit
like,
her.
you better hit me because I'm going to hit you if you don't
Yeah.
hit me. Don't you dare hold back on me. Don't ever treat me like I'm a girl. Because let me tell you, I'll show you how I treat other girls.
Wow.
And you ain't going to like it, honey.
Actually, the reason I asked that question is simply because my nephew, the guy with the red and blue hair.
Oh, yes.
Dream.
Yeah, Dream. He fancies himself one of the best in the business, and he hasn't really done
And he has a crush on China.
Really?
Yes.
He's had a
Major crush on China. I'm not dissing. I'm just saying you have a crush on her.
She was a good girl.
Yes.
She was before she got all messed up. I don't know what happened
dissing
to her.
her. Dude, I would never diss her. I liked her too. I know. That's your girl. I know.
Jeez, he's very young.
Yeah, he's very upbeat.
27, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been in one too many backyard matches.
Yeah.
Things like VCRs, chairs, VCRs.
Listen, I know people that have their whole head stitched with staples. I call them Frankenstein.
He uses crazy glue. He's too cheap for staples.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
He has no medical insurance for staples, so that's why he goes for the super glue.
Okay. So anyway, have you guys ever gone to ECW matches when ECW was on the road?
No.
Did you ever
Technically, I
experience
never
it?
been, but I've seen matches on TV. I know it's not the same. Not being there, watching it, seeing everybody with the hardcore.
Well, I was never really a big fan of ECW. I always thought Paul Heyman was a couple of cards shy of a deck.
Well,
Everybody in wrestling has a couple of cards.
Well, he had a couple of cards.
You have to have something
deck.
wrong with yourself a little bit to submit yourself to the punishment that you're about to.
But he was good with the
point.
ECW, He was the man with ECW,
Well,
Let me tell you, Paul has done some bad things, but what Paul Heyman did for wrestling with ECW was brilliant. And he is a genius. You can ask him, hey, Paul, 1982, you were with so-and-so doing this pay-per-view. He'll tell you the whole match. And he can tell you the whole entire show that he was on.
Wow.
Every match would happen. Oh, they did this spot. They had this was the finish for that match. And then it went into this.
Well, that's one thing
and that's brilliant.
That's one thing I did notice about Paul Heyman. He always seemed to be a student of the business.
Right.
Because he started out as, if I remember correctly, a press photographer for the wrestling magazines.
Yeah.
And he moved up to being a manager, to owning his own company, and now being doing something backstage with the WWE, but I'm not 100% sure what.
Well, he manages Brock Lesnar.
Of course.
Kind of,
the
sort backstage stuff as well.
Producer, you mean?
He
He's
does
on the
something
production team, probably. I don't know why they wouldn't have him be on the production team. He's brilliant for that. He can get the best out of anybody. He knows how to motivate people and be positive and encouraging. And you don't really find that in this business anymore because, first off, you have these idiot writers that come right out of school that don't know anything about wrestling, but they watched it their whole life.
Why does Vince Russo suddenly come to mind?
Total idiot. I can't stand Vince Russo at all. I hate the way he writes. I hate the way he writes for women. It's apparent to me as a woman that that he's pretty much a chauvinistic pig to some level, misogynistic, whatever. He has a lot of those tendencies as a person, and it's so strong that it shows through to me. I mean, I find it crap.
Well, I would agree. A lot of Russo stuff was bad, especially when you joined up with WCW.
But I mean, here you are, you're TNA, you're doing great, and all of a sudden you have to pop a bunch of money on some loser like this that ends up coming to your show, taking it over, and making you bankrupt, basically. I think it's and I think that the fact that a woman owns that show is just,
You're talking about Dixie Carter.
Yeah, I think that's very just dumbfounding to me. Like, how as a woman you don't see through that. I don't understand. It's like it must be bouncing off your brain or something.
It could be with the fact that Dixie Carter didn't have any prior experience with wrestling until she acquired TNA. Maybe that's why she let Russo get away with
She needs to stop listening to stupid men. Jeff Jarrett's another one. Don't listen to him. He's a mid-carder, but he's always got to make the whole TV show about him.
No,
Stop
not
it
Jeff
already,
Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett.
No, not Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
yeah,
I don't
well,
believe that either.
we
Oh,
all know that, but
please.
yeah.
Jarrett's that bad.
It's so
Yeah.
damn
Well,
boring already.
somebody was on this show a while back had a tendency to refer to Jarrett as the king of the Phantom Punch. You know, he never liked to get hit. And you know,
Lots of people don't like to get hit. There's all different kinds of wrestlers. You know, you gotta. That's part of the deal is when you're in wrestling and you want to be that level of superior professional where I can go around the world. I personally can go anywhere in the world right now and have a match with anybody. I mean, I've wrestled midgets, I've wrestled women, I've wrestled
well,
men.
that's one of the reasons why I was going to set you up in a match with him.
You know,
He's a
but
lady
you have to
midget.
be able to collaborate.
Right.
That's the thing. You can't make it all about you. You have to care about the other person.
Sorry, you set up a match with the two of them. Please let me referee it.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk
later.
later about that
right
one.
now, what I'd like to do, if we can, is check out one of the clips we have. Do we have those clips set?
Yes.
Okay, set one of them up. I'm not sure which one it's going to be because I don't know how.
Well,
they
let's
did
see which one it is.
The sight of somebody's own blood will either do one of two things.
Cage
It
match.
will scare the hell out of you, or it will motivate you to
it.
get
You want
up
him to lower
and
the
just
volume
go
so we can
nuts.
talk, or you want to just leave it the way it is?
What?
Lower the volume so we can talk.
Have an
Or...
opportunity at a good meal
Okay.
and biting it to the head.
Wow.
Orsini. Still that high protein diet.
Oh.
Angel with a DDT.
Now, was this with ECW or?
No, this is WEW.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
That's women's
Angel
extreme
says
wrestling.
what's going
Yes.
on. She's going through the door. We got a new champion.
Oh.
The 5 months of rehab, day in and day out, all worth it. What a comeback. What a champion. I can't think of anybody.
That's why they call me the full-breasted Italian. That's a nice rack right there.
Yeah, I know. I'll behave.
Try.
But whoop, whoop. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's
Full
actually.
breasted Italian. I like
Yes.
that. One thing I like too is you're the first woman I've seen who's not afraid to.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, I'm ECW, dude.
You know.
I honor my locker room that I come
Wow.
from. I will never dishonor my locker room.
I can understand. That.
And that's real blood. That is not fake.
Wow.
Well, I got that. I'm pretty good at that.
As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, my baby sister was at that match and she was freaking out the whole night.
I would
She couldn't
imagine.
even look at my forehead.
Wow, I would
That I was
imagine.
all bashed in like that with the scabs on it later after they
wow.
cleaned me. She was freaked out so bad.
Yeah, I would
I can
imagine.
see
Yeah.
why. Yes.
Oh my lord.
No. We had a commissioner from the State Athletic Commission here a couple of years ago, Billy Caputo, and he explained to me that when it comes to bleeding in this business, it has to be real blood, or it's misrepresentation. They can't do the blood capsule like they do in Hollywood. So,
Well, one thing's for sure.
And it's just getting in. Actually, it was so kept in my hair that I had to, it took me like 20 minutes just to wash all the blood out of my hair.
Wow.
You know who I learned that from? Steve Carino, man.
Oh, boy.
I used to call him Friday the 13th when I was in ECW. Because nobody could get color the way that Steve Carino could.
Wow.
I mean, he just always did it right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to honor that, you know. I want to make sure.
As a man,
I do.
you had a lot of utsa, you know, utspa.
chutzpah.
Utspa,
He's
thank
Jewish,
you.
doesn't even know the word.
Yeah, I tend to lose it
Well,
because I
I'm
was
Italian. We just call it, you know.
Well, I'm from Israel, but
balls.
you know, there you go.
In my case, it's
Do
mental.
I love
Cojones,
this lady. She's
thank
so
you.
Cool.
Cojones.
Well, that's
but, you know,
Spanish.
that too, but you know.
Well, there's somebody you would have really enjoyed. My former co-host on this show, a guy called Dream Warrior from the Bronx.
Yeah.
He was running his cojones line left and right most of the time he was here, which is one of the reasons why he's not here anymore.
Yeah, well.
That man could drive a crazy man nuts.
Yeah, well, that's beyond the
Actually,
point.
he was the very first guest on this show 10 years ago. And the footage we used to introduce him to the audience was from a 1995 block party. 1996, '96 block party, actually.
And it scared a lot of people.
He actually did a flying body press off of a 17-foot roof into a ring that was only about this high. It was, flush to the ground.
Wow.
He landed on the guy. Poor guy coughed up a lung. But, it took guts to actually jump off a roof that high.
You know what I gotta say? A lot of there's all different styles of wrestling. I like the style that I do. I'm a cemento. Okay, I do Japanese style, ECW style.
Right.
I do not do fake wrestling. However, I'm not gonna diss it. I don't diss it. It's just not my way.
Right.
Okay, if you're in the ring with me, I'm gonna make contact with you. I'm not, trying to kill you and send
Right.
you
Just
to the
trying to make it look
hospital.
good.
I need to stun you enough to
To
make
show
you
the
be
audience,
pinned
yeah.
for 3 count. That's
Right.
my object, or
course.
stun you enough to get you into a submission hold,
Right.
where I could get you to tap.
Well,
but
speaking of that, what is your favorite submission hold?
boy, I've used
Or
quite
your
a few of them.
or your favorite moves.
Here's what she rather
I'm a
off the list,
suplex
one of the Great Wall of
queen,
China.
and I like all versions of different locks. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever the person gives me. If I'm with a bigger person, obviously I'm not going to be putting them in a backbreaker.
Right.
I'm probably going to do leg locks on somebody that's bigger than me to try to keep them down. I mean, that's I never stop thinking like a fighter. That's that's inbred to my brain. That's the way I think. The art of war.
I'll keep that clean and present with the leg locks.
Good idea.
I'll keep it clean.
Good
No
idea.
thinking what I was thinking.
You got a very dirty mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leg locks. But
Well,
yeah.
let's,
All right.
let's continue the discussion
Yeah.
with wrestling and not what's going on in your filthy mind.
Yeah, I'll take that out.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Okay, so have you gentlemen ever been to a match where you've seen like women wrestling on the card live?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't mean like
we've-
somebody that's nobody.
No,
I mean somebody
actually,
that's,
we've been
I'm trying to
to
remember the last live.
not
show I
with
went
women. No, I've been seeing men a
No.
lot. I never seen women wrestling.
So
Not
what
in
about
person.
the older WrestleManias? You ever see Luna Vachon or Wendy
Well, I've seen her on
Richter
TV.
or
I've seen them
Moolah?
on TV in action.
Just pay-per-views,
girlfriend's
old
childhood idol
pay-per-views.
Was Moolah.
Yeah, let me tell you,
She was a
Moolah
tough
was
woman.
a badass.
Yes.
I have met some very, very famous old school gentlemen that are no longer here with us, and they would always say, wrestling on a card with the fabulous Moolah was like they always wanted to go on before her because they knew she was going to bring so much heat that they would
Which
have
she
to
usually
work
did.
so hard to
Well-
overcome it. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. They
We
said.
did have a guest that dated Moolah.
Yeah, a friend of mine who lives where we do. Dated Moolah for about 5 or 6 years. A guy named Gary.
Really?
Tall guy, gray hair, bald on top, glasses.
Last name?
I don't
Maybe she
remember
would
his last
know.
name.
Oh.
I
Well,
don't-
Gary was a lucky dude.
yeah, he always thought so.
Yeah.
He always spoke
Spoke
very highly.
very highly of
She
her.
probably smacked him around. Let me tell you, that lady had a heavy hand.
From what
That
I
was like,
remember from
pow! It was
WrestleMania
like-
1. Well, no, it wasn't WrestleMania 1. It was after WrestleMania 1, wasn't it?
Probably WrestleMania 2.
No, when she took the belt away from Wendy Richter as a Spider Lady.
Oh, I think
That was
it
at the
was
Garden.
yeah, that was after. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember seeing her when I was a lot younger, watching her as a teenager, thinking to myself, if I ever get into the ring, it's not going to be with her. So, I like the way my chest looks. Don't need her caving it in.
The best compliment I ever got. So that match, that steel cage match with Amy Lee, primetime Amy Lee, we had a match at the National Armory in Philadelphia, and Moolah was the main event, and we were the semi-main event. It was just
Right.
me and Amy Lee, and we did a straight up
Pier 6 brawl.
no, a straight up ECW match, Philadelphia fight all around the ring and everything. And
With the same, I think I saw, is that match on YouTube?
probably,
I think I saw that. If you're talking about the one, I think you're talking
in the
about.
National Armory,
remember
not the
exactly
one
where
at
it was.
Froggy's. I'm not wearing, not the blue one where I go outside in the snow, but there was another one that was before that, and I forget. I think I was wearing a silver outfit. But anyway,
Okay,
Mula
well, I think it was blue.
Mula came up to us after the match, and told us both. She said that was the best women's match I've ever seen in any independent show. Wow,
That's a hell of
and
a
that was
That's a
huge.
compliment from
We
Mula,
both
yes.
hugged each other and
Wow.
kissed each other. I mean, we had beaten the snot out of each other, and here we
Mm-hmm.
are thanking each other for making this moment in our
Mm-hmm.
career that we actually got that kind of a compliment from that
Wow,
woman.
from
And
Mula,
what
yeah.
made it even more special is because Liz is no longer with us. And Liz
Yeah.
passed on before I went to ECW. And I know that at that moment, Liz Chase was so proud of me to have Mula say that about
Well, I
me.
can definitely
I mean, because
understand that.
That gave
Well,
her
about you two performing in the match.
Yeah,
that
well,
gave
that-
her,
As
like,
well
you
as
know,
her, yeah.
accommodation for training me
Right,
so
of
well
course.
to that level, and that's all
Yeah.
she ever wanted. And that it's a real shame that she didn't ever get to see any of that. You know, and same thing with Luna Vachon. May her soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
So sad for me that, you know, two of my very best girlfriends in the whole world that were like, Liz is like my wrestling mom and Luna's like my wrestling big sister.
I
And they're
can-
not
yeah,
here anymore.
I can
And
understand
it's
that.
it's a darn shame,
Yeah.
really.
Well, we have a few minutes left. Well, we have.
You
some
should
time.
probably show them another match
I was
then.
gonna, if you guys can run up that next clip, maybe Angel can tell us a little bit about that.
Big forearms there.
Oh, the
If there's
volume.
somebody
A little
in the
louder, they
Oh,
can't
this is
hear
a
you on
gauntlet
bars.
match.
You can physically
That's
stand
Melissa
toe to
Coates.
toe, at least on paper,
I think
with
I
Angel
told you.
Orsini.
I really thought
It's Melissa Coates, and she might do it right here.
Look like Angel tried to counter that suplex
I
attempt,
did
and
not believe in this.
Coates saw it and just dropped Angel face first to the canvas, and now you see Coates calling for that choke slam. And what a devastating choke slam that thing she debuted at our last show.
Yeah, this
We
was
got
a
Jennifer
gauntlet
Cruz
match.
on the Go
Same
Fight Live
organization
pay-per-view.
with the
Oh, that was a nasty wedgie right there. Let me tell you.
Face Angel.
And the worst
gotta
thing
keep it-
is,
I
you
gotta
know,
keep it clean again.
listen,
New
all I
Women's
can think
World
of
Champion. 1, 2, and
while I'm wrestling this match, and I have a serious wedgie right now. 'cause
unbelievable.
She did pick me up, you
Conspicuous is
know,
the fact
seriously
that
by my
Cosmo
shorts.
Oh, hang on.
And
Triangle choke.
oh, this is
She
a good
got triangle choke
armbar.
on Coates.
And all I can think of is how
Wow.
Raven,
Well, under football days,
it's a nice triangle
Cage
choke
versus-
with
she's
an
got
armbar.
nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's wow, a little more than what the Undertaker would do right there.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Is she gonna tap? Will she tap?
Yeah.
No, I
don't
just
have a
straight
good
up choked her
vantage
out,
point of
dude,
the
with an armbar. And then I grabbed the other arm so she couldn't make any space. And then I choked her out. I have legitimately
Well, I
choked
mean,
out
yeah,
more than one
for a
person in the
long
ring.
time.
Jana, Cindy,
No, she didn't. No, she
Do
didn't.
not mess up
Only
and
one
make
left
me
is
mad.
Brittany
You are
Savage.
not going to make me look like an idiot.
I don't
Let me
think the
just
other
tell
ladies
you.
don't want to get involved either. There, you know. Ladies don't want to get involved.
the referee
Well-
calls for the bell. Oh,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this ass is... Brittany tried to...
No, it's just that it's a
gauntlet
gauntlet match.
It's a
So
gauntlet match,
before
so,
other
you know.
people can go, they gotta
Yeah,
go.
anybody
Can't
can
be
go
holding it
next,
up.
you know.
Savage appeared to try to hightail it out of here, and Sassy Stephanie.
Yes. See, there you go. Gut wrench suplex
Wow,
right into his
nice.
ring. That was nice. That's like
Very.
And Sassy
Road
Stephanie
Warrior
trying to
Hawk style.
He's gonna go
One thing I
down.
can say.
Cross face. Now I got a little
As we
Taz
got
rocking
out
right
here,
now.
I guess you can count these as
One thing I can
defenses
say for you,
of
very
the All Guts No Glory
Scramble the brains a little
Championship.
bit there, yeah.
Absolutely.
There we go.
So far.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Devastating belly-to-back suplex.
Wow, and after the first one, you had all that,
And
you know,
spiked her
still
with the
that,
Northern
all
Lights
that
earlier.
energy left.
So
you know.
Brittany's in a world of trouble right
In
now.
the eye, like any.
Yeah, well, you know, you know,
Although she's back up. Look at that.
And now she's stepping on my hair.
stepping on your hair,
Darn,
you
that
know,
hurts.
being a hell.
My hair is real. I don't have those plugs.
Yes, where's she buried now?
What a conniving and vindictive athlete.
You must have wanted to see
She's in the witness protection program. I don't know where she is.
Now just raking Angel's eye.
Ah.
So anyway, like I was trying to tell you
That's
about the
right, we
wedgie
use it, we call it a
situation.
rope, but it's
So
actually
when I
made
was
of,
in
like, hard rubber
ECW,
and cable.
super crazy,
you
used to
watch
constantly
Brittany Savage
pull his pants down, right? 'Cause it was
And,
crazy.
she's got a championship. She's had tremendous success here in WSU.
And
really
and
pulls out
Raven,
literally
we would all
every
be,
dirty trick in the book.
backstage watching
It's unbelievable.
what everybody else was doing on the monitor.
Another 2 count.
And Raven was always like,
Right,
"Stop
this is
pulling
the
your
overhang.
tights
You want
out of your
something done
ass.
right,
You're
you gotta
supposed
do
to
it
be
yourself. It's
trying to
down
win the
Brittany
match."
Savage. If Brittany
You
goes
shouldn't
today,
care
she
about
can't
your
now
stupid
become the new
tights.
All-Cuts
So all I
No
can think
Glory
of is I
champion,
can't even
Angel
fix my
Orsini
tights
forced
because
to
Raven will
join
start
the
yelling at
Cosmo
me.
Club.
You know?
Again, Sassy Stephanie made sure that Brittany Savage didn't go anywhere. It stayed
yet.
part of this gauntlet challenge here for Angel
Oh, yeah,
Orsini's
there's,
belt. She's watching on from the entranceway.
Me right in the
Absolutely here, making sure there's no more nonsense from the Cosmo Club
Oh,
as well as getting
as long as you don't have the Adam's apple,
Escape
you don't have
pitch.
to worry about that. You know.
by
But,
Brittany Savage.
I know that's
Savage, I
yeah,
really
I
hope
know
she
that's
doesn't walk away with the
bad.
belt. She
I
might
know
not.
that's bad.
Getting here in full, man.
For me, that's bad. I know. Yeah, I know.
I like those leopard shorts though.
Taking her time.
And have
Now she's choking out Angel.
Sorry, I'm,
Just
I'm a
trying
girl.
to
Yeah.
You get sidetracked with fashion. You get sidetracked with other stuff.
You know, I'd be sidetracked with that outfit too. You know.
Orsini very quickly here. It has taken a turn for the worse for her.
Then again, my ex-wife-
She handedly
Yeah, well, that's-
contained Rick Cataldo.
Yeah.
She survived Cindy and Jana.
Well, any guy would want that
Very,
outfit.
very
You know.
seriously
never mind.
injured Melissa.
Absolutely, that triangle choke is no joke, and it didn't appear that she tapped out, but
she's
obviously
not
referee Johnny
going
Q
down.
right there, right up in her face,
right
to see
back
what was going on and made sure.
Sorry, usually I was just going to say that usually a triangle don't last that long. You know, you
No.
pretty much get into it, you give up, that's it.
Here
That
we
using the force
go.
of the triangle choke is so
Going.
severe that it usually resulted in a fairly quick submission, but
Give her time. She didn't give up, at least right away.
oh, hang on!
Oh.
Yeah. Kiss of
Out of
death.
nowhere, what a
Whoa.
combination.
Is it enough?
Yeah, buddy.
But it's
But
still
then
a
there's more
gauntlet.
people
But
that come, I
more,
think.
you got, you know.
Oh no, that's
Oh, that was the last one, and that was for the belt.
Give credit to Angela Orsini. She issued the challenge for a gauntlet match in defense of her title.
So I would say that between those two
But it
matches,
was-
you're looking at about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the WEW was like 2002, 2003, 2004.
They're not around anymore?
No, it's a darn shame, but no.
I'll say, because that looked like it was an interesting
Yeah, it
promotion.
was very interesting.
Started to go downhill a little bit too much when, everybody gets a little too crazy, a little too rock and roll lifestyle instead of
That's how extreme is, you know.
wrestling. So.
know?
I guess some idiot hired Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, the typical problem that men have when they try to organize women is they start to get involved with some of the women, and then
Yeah.
those women should never be champion.
Yeah,
but
but
because they're, being
Yeah.
with the man in charge.
I've gotten a good look at Ed Ferrara. He's the kind of guy that'll hook her with till she has a headache.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Oh, well.
So you
Well,
wanna?
we've got like 25 minutes left. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, I'm going to switch things out so the other guys can come in and discuss what's happening in the wrestling world, and you can join them. I would
Or-
rather have
or-
you sit here because these two are basically at odds with each other.
Yeah,
tonight.
please do, because
Don't want
yeah,
to
we need order in this studio.
I got order
before.
for you.
No, not for me.
No.
For
No, I know
them
what
too.
you're
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Do me
Please.
a favor, run the commercial so we can switch spots here, all right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And you can sit right in the middle.
And welcome back to Beyond the Squared Circle. I'm the complete host of this show, the real thing, Spike Stevens.
Yeah, okay.
We're back with Angel Orsini. Sorry.
That's all right.
And,
I'll hit you later.
oh, I'm hoping. And somebody over there, whatever, the one who can't decide whether
really
he wants
wanna
his hair
start?
red or blue.
I've taken you out how many times?
Never. You started with me out
They've
there.
seen, the fans have seen how many
When?
times I've taken you down.
Since when? When did that ever happen?
2 shows ago, I knocked you on your ass.
No, you didn't. Was that a fantasy? How about we finish this right now?
No. Why don't you just?
Come on.
Hey, you guys are supposed to be interviewing me. Like, what's going on?
Oh, great. You got the referee.
See, now you got the referee coming in.
Let's
and
lock
stuff.
that thing.
Come on.
You can't be messing up the studio either.
Yeah, I'm going to bust this chair over
Otherwise,
your
you're
head.
not gonna have a show. They're gonna
Yeah.
take it away from you. You start breaking stuff.
He starts.
No, I don't start. You
Okay.
started with these fantasies.
Okay.
Okay, what are you guys supposed to be
Okay.
talking about?
All right,
Stay
all
on
right.
track. Let's
All right.
get focused here.
Okay, we're going to be talking about ladies in wrestling today.
Oh, cool.
And, of course, yeah, that's her favorite subject, naturally. And we saw those match clips, and he's right for once in his life. You're a very, very talented athlete.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know, I mean, maybe you should teach him how to wrestle, learn how to do it right.
I
for
heard
once.
he's
Oh,
pretty
hell
good,
no.
though. I don't think he.
Well, from the blind leading the blind. Don't listen to T-Dog. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I beat him 2 out of 3 times. And the first time when he won, he pinned me by holding on to my tights. He denies that.
Oh, listen, I've had it done to me, and I've done it to other people. So
Exactly.
what's the difference?
Yeah, because he can't beat me
Sometimes it works,
legitimately.
and sometimes it doesn't work.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Doesn't matter.
It's the way it goes, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta get thick skin.
Well, you got to be like, what was his name? Jesse Ventura. Win if you can, lose if you must, but cheat at all costs. Right?
Listen, if I could have "Just Win Baby" tattooed across my butt, I would.
I like that.
That would work, yeah.
Hollywood Blondes, those were the days.
Oh, yeah. And
I miss that stuff.
Yeah, you remember very well. And then,
We heard earlier that you fought China and Lita and people like that. What was going through your mind when you fought them?
Well, so I don't know her as China because I always just knew her as Joni.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
Joni
I don't
Lauer.
really use wrestling names with people unless that's the first time I meet them and that's all I know them by. So, Joni was a very nice girl, and you know, we used to go to the gym together. We worked out together when she was down in Florida. She was getting ready to go to WWE, so she was kind of getting polished and getting ready to do that. And my trainer was working with her to help her with that because up in the Northeast, she had only worked with men.
Right.
So she hadn't really worked with a lot of women. So we were trying to get her used to working with women so that she could get a name for herself and then, you know, go on. She was totally different than later on. So when she went there and she ended up with the Generation X with, I think,
D-Generation X.
Shawn Michaels was a really bad influence on her,
Oh,
to
really?
be honest with you, because she just went right downhill. She got into a lot of trouble. She was doing a lot of other things. Like, when I knew her, she wouldn't even drink alcohol. To get her to drink a glass of wine, it was like, ooh, she's having white Zinfandel. Oh,
I've heard
look
things
out,
about
let's-
that.
Yeah.
You know, and now she's like on Celebrity Rehab. You know, it's like,
Right, yeah.
whoa, what
Well-
happened to her?
I think Sean Waltman had a lot to do with that too.
No, I'm gonna tell you he's the fall guy for that. He actually loves her, and that's not fair. She was with Shawn Michaels and Triple X and that whole
Triple H.
oh yeah, Triple H, whatever. I really don't like that guy at all. Not at
neither
all.
one of them?
Not. I've met these people when they're supposed to be normal, and he
Yes.
doesn't act normal.
What do you mean?
He's a stuck-up pig. That's what he is.
Shawn
He's
Michaels.
got to
Triple
Triple
H.
H. He's always got to be bowed out, and he's always got to be like he's checking out all the other guys, and he's got to be bigger, and it's like, ew.
He's an
Just
egomaniac.
knock it off, really. He's about right there with Vince McMahon.
Oh,
But
shit.
Vince McMahon is by far the worst. I'm sorry. You know, it's so the character of the people. It's just
Well,
I never
yeah.
wanted to work there. They couldn't pay me enough money to work for their company. I'm
Don't blame
sorry.
him. Even Bruno Sammartino hates him.
Oh, they're
A
just
lot of people
not
hate Vince.
happy.
Yeah, it's true.
Just
It's
not
like-
happy people. Stephanie McMahon, very nice. Linda McMahon, lovely lady.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with the dudes, you know, and like the Undertaker, great dude,
Yeah.
but you know, you're not allowed to be by the bigger stars when you're
Yeah.
just a little peon. You have to deal with all of the other
Yeah, right.
peons that are there before you, and
You
they're
work your
so
way up.
angry and frustrated that they're just nasty and miserable, and ugh, it's like nobody's happy
Yeah,
there.
I heard that it's hard to make friends in the business. Like, it's
Yeah.
really, you can only get a certain amount of friends, like real friends.
Yeah,
Like, you have to really watch your back because people will stab you in the back and
right.
stuff.
It's true.
Yeah,
But when you make a
especially there.
friend in those circumstances, you have that friend. I have a lot of great girlfriends in this business.
That's good. Yeah,
and
great.
They're like, that's the gold. That's the treasure.
Yeah, not the belts, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't
well,
mean anything.
yeah. Do you know
you wouldn't
any
be
of the?
able to do it without them anyway. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing. At least one thing you got to say about the WWE Divas, these ladies are phenomenal as athletes, and you would be as great with them as you are everywhere else. I know that.
well, they just don't let you be. You know,
Yeah.
all those girls are very talented, and they just give them a 3 minutes to walk out to the ring and have a match. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And even on the pay-per-views, I think they get like 7-minute match, which is a TV match in TNA for the women.
yeah,
The
that's
women
not
get
fair.
to have a full character, work a whole gimmick
Right,
when
yeah.
they're in TNA, and
I got breaking news. Hey, Dream. I just got news from a reliable source that Spike Stevens, in your next match, he's going to come and stab you in the back.
What? We're always at each other's
Yeah.
throats anyway,
It's
so
not a shock.
I know.
he's trying to make us. He's trying to
trying to
start
confuse us.
something.
We don't get along as it is, so
can
why
I
would you
kick him
stab me in
when
the
we
back?
go out?
Him?
No, him.
Yes, you can.
For
Yeah, we'll
interrupting
take
us
turns.
to tell us
Let's
that.
kick the, let's
You
beat the crap
stink,
out of him.
whatever your name is.
Guy.
Guy. Gee. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite match that you ever had?
Oh,
Good
geez, that's a
question.
good question. I'd have to say the Iron Woman match I had with Mercedes
Oh, I
Martinez.
think- yeah.
I actually wrestled for like 68 minutes, almost 69 minutes straight, and I thought it would be really, really hard to break 60 minutes straight and also be able
Yeah.
to entertain the people. But what we did was amazing. Those people followed us out into the street. We fought in the street, literally with cars driving by. I got slammed on a ring truck.
Ring-
On real 2
Oh,
by
that
4s,
hurts.
man.
Been there, done that.
It was
Moved on.
sick. I got thrown from one balcony to the other.
God, I'm
It
sorry I
was
missed
sick.
that. That must have been some
It was
battle.
awesome.
And
It
you
was,
were able to get up after that?
dude, I had to like take so many hot baths and ice baths, and it,
Yeah.
it took a couple of days to get over it. That ring truck bump, that was tough. That was a tough one. That really killed my back. I don't know how
Yeah.
I got up after
Been there,
that.
done that. Yeah, I mean, the
Dude,
back
it's
is
just
the first
totally
to go.
like
yeah.
instinctual. Lift that hand up. Don't stay. You know.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, next time just stay down. Go home. But I don't know how to do it when I'm there when it's happening.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah,
No, I
definitely.
don't want it to stop. I want it to last. I don't
Yeah.
want
I
it.
mean, you just the
take it home,
adrenaline.
man.
See, the adrenaline starts going, and you're not thinking. You just want to move.
Yeah, I want to keep going, and
Yeah.
the fans were loving it. So why not? Why
You
stop?
just want to keep going.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It was amazing. That was
definitely.
definitely a special moment for me in my career. That and then the ladder match that we had after that, that was totally channeling ECW all the way. I know Tommy Dreamer, Sandman would have been proud of me. New Jack would have been proud of me. You know, 41 minutes. It was a
Well,
it was a
yeah.
badass match. It got match of the year by not just only the all women critics, but like writics gave me match of the year. That
Remind
was
me not
pretty
to
cool.
piss you off.
Well, maybe I'll piss her off and blame you, and she'll beat the crap out of you anyway.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Listen, I'll take you both out at the same time. Don't mess with me.
Oh,
Either one of
really?
you.
Oh, she's
I'll make
she's
sure it
asking,
lasts longer
she's
on you.
asking us out on
She
a
hurts you,
she's
I'm gonna
asking
laugh.
us out on a date. You said you'd take me out. She's asking me out on a date.
Oh,
I think she's got bad taste in that.
no.
No, if
that's
she
not what I
wanted to
meant.
go with you, Dracula, what's with the fangs all
She'd
of a
rather
sudden?
go with someone cool than someone like you.
Somewhat cool? You're wearing the pajamas with the feet in the bottoms and going to bed at 7:30 every night
Yeah, I
with
can
your
always
teddy
put my
bear.
foot in your face.
How'd you
Always
like to
that.
try it?
You want to try
Come
it?
on.
All right, now, come on. There's still time left on the show. Now, what else are we supposed to be talking about? You guys
Oh,
had,
yeah.
You're supposed to be talking about current wrestling. You're supposed to be trying to teach me something about what's going on.
You can't help it with his ugly face here.
Look who's talking. You're the one who should be wearing a mask. Oh, you
Okay.
are.
Just keep talking. Keep talking to your smack.
Yeah.
What was next on the agenda?
Well, yeah. What did you think of the stupidity of some wrestling, like Glow, if you remember that?
Oh, geez, Louise. I remember being a little girl and watching Glow, and my mom was like, oh, what do you think about that? And I said, Mommy, I could beat those girls up now.
Yeah, you could have.
I was like, roller derby chicks are tougher than them.
What did your parents think about you getting into the business?
My parents probably didn't even know until it was already really going on. Yeah, I was living in Florida and they're all up here, so I kind of moved away so that I could become my own person and have my own identity and find my own gifts, find my own place in the world. And I didn't realize that I was such a good fighter and that I was that tough and that strong. And so I just kind of flourished. And then once I had something to show them, and when I would start going up to this area on wrestling, they would come to wrestling shows. And I remember my little baby sister, so she was like 3 years old, and she was at one of my matches. And some guy was giving me a hard time. He was like really fat. And there's this little 3-year-old voice, eat a salad, mean guy.
Well,
meaning like you're fat, shut up.
She was protecting you.
It
But,
was so cute.
yeah, but now, when she grows up, how much tougher is she now?
Oh, she is a soccer amazing girl. She
Yeah.
is like all over the place. She's my little mini me.
Mini-me. Yeah, maybe you should train her and you'll tag team sometime. Take the tag.
Well, I don't know if I want her
titles.
to get involved in wrestling. I'd rather her go to college on a soccer scholarship and do the Olympics and make a whole lot of money instead of do.
Yeah, you don't want to see her get her brains beat now.
No.
Yeah, but it's okay for you, though.
It's okay for me. I can handle it. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I don't really get beat up that much either, by the
Well,
way.
everybody.
Was
And
there ever a time that you thought you weren't gonna make it? Like,
In the business, I can tell you that it's really hard. It's hard on different levels. So it's physically demanding, but mentally it is very hard because I think it's even harder for men because you have more men. It's more competitive.
Yeah.
And men are worse the way they treat each other than girls are. Like, girls can be catty, but then in that you can find a group of girls that are some really cool, down-to-earth, tomboyish girls that are just good people, and we respect each other, and it's like a sisterhood. I don't know that there's really that much of a brotherhood in men wrestling.
Yeah.
I think y'all gossip on each other so much more. You're so bad. It's worse than a beauty parlor. I think we went on a road trip, and we had some girls that were hoe bags. And one hoe bag was actually married and decided to be a hoe bag and drug two of the girls away from a party. We all went and we were watching UFC pay-per-view after we got done with our wrestling matches. But two of these girls had to drive the other girls to a hotel room because they said they were tired. Well, what they were tired was they were meeting some of the boys. Bam, chicka, bam, bam, in the hotel. Well, the next morning we had a custom shoot. And we're at the shoot and we're like, where are the other two girls? Why are they late?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you should
Late
hear.
night.
So we didn't hear it from the girls that drove them back to the hotel room. No, the guys that came that were the referee, they already knew. Look at this text. Man, we did this with this girl. This girl did that. The whole entire locker room of guys, it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning, had already told each other everything that went on in that hotel room that next day. And when those girls showed up and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry," I go, "Psh, don't even try. Give me no excuse. You're a hoe bag." All right, the whole entire Northeast is gonna know by the time you go home. Your husband's gonna know, and it ain't gonna be because of any of us, honey. It's because you're a dumbass.
Everybody needs a hobby.
Does that happen a lot with the women and the men?
No,
Like this,
it doesn't happen a lot. That's why it's a big deal when it does happen, and that's why everybody knows when it happens. You know, you'll see couples in this business where a girl tries to help her boyfriend or a guy tries to help his girlfriend so that they can travel together and stay together, and that's really cute and adorable. But then you just get a bunch of players and a bunch of hoe bags, and you have that in anything.
Yeah.
You have that in music, you have that in acting, you have it in dancing. You know, people are people. Oh,
It must be a lot of strain though,
7 minutes?
on a relationship.
big time, especially when one person goes away to like Japan for 6 weeks, you know, and the other person doesn't.
Right.
That's
yeah.
why
It's
that's
tough.
what happened with Matt and Lita when Matt was out on injury. She had an affair with Edge, Adam Copeland.
That girl was having affairs with affairs when before there was an affair.
Well,
So don't
you,
even.
You really have a lot of really nice things to say about Lita, I notice.
But I'm not saying anything that's not true.
Right.
I'm not going to candy coat it. I'm not fake.
Yeah.
If you want to earn my respect in the ring, then you're willing to put in the work
Right.
it
Yeah.
takes
exactly.
to be at that level. If you put in the work, I will never, not only will I never say anything bad about you, but I won't let anybody else say anything bad about you. But you think it's more important to be boy crazy
Yeah.
and go over here and go over there and then when you get in the ring, you suck. And I got to work double hard to make
yeah,
you not break
exactly.
your neck on that Hurricane Rana
Yeah.
because you can't even do it right.
Yeah. And like me,
Then-
me and
Yeah, I'm
T-Dog.
sorry. I got
That's
something
new.
to
I
say
never
about
thought, I
it.
never knew that about her before.
I
Yeah.
got something to say about it. Yeah, you're not that good.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
just got lucky, baby.
And when you say boy crazy, suddenly he came to mind. Yeah. Yeah. Like he's not in love with me right now. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. So,
Hell
yeah,
no.
I don't candy coat things. I respect women I respect everybody who gets in the ring. However, when you get there, you know, you gotta
Prove
always
yourself.
strive. I mean, if you want to be a champion, okay, we all know that it's sports entertainment. However, it still means something when you put a belt on
Yeah.
and you represent a whole
Definitely,
company.
yeah, of course.
Listen,
Right.
when I'm the champion of a locker room, I keep order in my locker room. That's a shoot. That's not
Yeah.
work. That's for real. Those girls are gonna treat each other right.
And that's
There's
it.
not gonna be any nonsense going on if I'm champion of a locker room. And
Exactly.
That's my federation. The way that they behave, it
It's a
reflects
reflection on
me. The way I behave reflects on the company.
Yeah.
When I go out with everybody, we're a travel group, I got everybody's back. Nobody's gonna creep on any of those girls. I
Angel.
will lay them out, man. Nobody's touching
Angel.
And I
you-
believe that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I've done it.
See, you know, you think you're so good, you should even run your own federation someday. You think you'll ever do that?
I would love to do that.
That'd be
Absolutely.
great.
That is
You'd be the
something that I've
CEO,
been
yeah.
I've been working on my business, like my new profession,
Yeah.
just so that I can have money to funnel it in
Right,
to build something up and have it really take off when I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do because I want to hand over my knowledge and my training. I don't want this all just in my mind. I want to give it away to people who are worthy of it.
All right, folks, we unfortunately we have to wrap it up right now. You see what you did.
I didn't do it.
So
You talk too much.
Come on in. Oh, I talk too much.
Yes, you do.
You ne-
But it was fun, guys. You know.
Yeah.
With our new
And girl.
And girl,
Yeah,
yes.
girl, yeah.
Yeah, I respect you. Tell
Lady,
you of new
yeah.
one.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, we got about, what, 5 minutes left in this? 2 minutes left? How much time we got left?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, well, first thing I'd like to ask is, Angel, how did you enjoy yourself tonight?
Oh, this
Or
is
did
pretty
you?
fun.
And-
Yeah, this is
and
cool.
They were perfect gentlemen. I am very shocked. You know,
I don't know.
most of
This
the
one
time-
he's a little iffy, but
Well, yeah. Well, you know.
this one's okay.
Well, my former tag team partner's
This
always been
one's-
a little iffy.
Look
Yeah,
who's
well,
talking.
Now,
Well, at least I
now.
don't
You're
make the
kind of a
ladies-
little bit of a pervy too over there.
Oh, that's for my
But
gimmick.
that's
She liked me
okay.
the most.
At
What
least
about me?
Oh, yeah.
you're all right.
Oh.
She liked me the most though, so
No, get real. Nobody likes you.
she
at
don't
all.
like you.
You know who
Yeah,
I like the
everybody likes
most?
me.
Them.
Yes.
The audience.
The audience out there.
Hopefully we have a big
Our
audience
8
for
or
the
10
show.
audience members out there, you
I
know.
mean, this has to be one of our best shows to date.
Yes.
This definitely has to be one of our prettiest guests to date.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Thank
know.
you.
And she's got a lot of information, and hopefully we can have her come back sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to be back with
Provided,
us?
I
of course, these
would.
two jabronis
Great.
didn't scare her off.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
scared of anybody
Or
that's
me, of course.
a human.
you're-
Aliens, different story.
So he's an alien. So
Well, no, look who's talking. You're from the planet Zob.
better than your planet.
Zod,
Yeah.
huh? Well,
And you're from the... I'll forget where you're from. I don't want to
Yeah.
know.
behave yourself here. I know it's hard, but try.
Now,
Yeah,
guys.
yes,
No,
that's why I never do it.
Okay, now we've got dead air. Oh,
Okay.
I think they're trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next time.
The last minute gone.
Peace out.